Hey guys, so thanks for being here. So we're going to do something a little bit different from what I've normally done. I'm going to do this reading on how to work through your fears, okay? So this is going to be a little bit completely different from what I had planned originally, but I do want this to still be focused around your intuition. What is a fear versus what your intuition or your gut feeling is telling you? This is what we struggle with, I feel like, the most. And I feel like that for some this may be helpful. If I can even give you a different perspective of how maybe you're seeing a situation, that could even be helpful for you. Remember that these readings are meant to be helpful, not meant to be hurtful. So if you get into a pile here, and this is also a general reading. I do personal readings if you're interested in that, but these are general. So there's going to be bits and pieces that may not fit into your life, into your puzzle, and that's okay. You have to learn how to discern that and dismiss those things. Only use the things that you feel like are helpful to you. And yeah, so that's kind of what we're looking at, what we're going to move forward with. The reason I say that about intuition is because my original idea here was to use all the cat tarot as a way to what your intuition is telling you. So I don't know in this intro yet if I'm going to word it what your intuition's telling you or how to work through your fears, but we'll figure that out. Y'all know that by now. So we do have all these cat tarot in front of me. We have 4 piles. Now the first pile here, I want to give a shout out to Casey over at Mosaic Mermaid. I know y'all have heard me mention her a few times. She is so very close to 1,000 subscribers. So if y'all don't mind, please go over there and show her some love. She deserves it so much. She's such a great reader. And if y'all would please give her a chance, I would really appreciate it. And let's get her to 1,000 subscribers. So this is called the Cat Tarot, and this is donated by her. So we're going to use that for pile 1. And then I'll leave her information down below as well. Pile 2 here is the Mystical Cat Tarot, which y'all see me use a lot. And pile 3 is the Blooming Cat Tarot. And then pile 4 is the Paws Tarot. Okay, so there'll be a little bit of a meditation after the intro if you want to take a deep breath. Focus on which pile you feel most calls your name. It's pulling you in. There may be more than one message in piles like these, or there may be some advice that you could give to someone else and just a message that you're needing to hear. Maybe you're not aware of it now, but maybe in the future you're having a conversation with someone where one of these piles can help you with that person, help that person, okay? So timestamps for everything will be down below, and I will see you at your pile. Hey, pile 1. So if you chose the Cat Tarot, which was donated by Casey over at Mosaic Mermaid, y'all go check her out, please. She's pretty awesome, and she's almost at 1,000 subscribers. So let's keep her growing and going. So down below, here's her information if you're interested. Go check her out, please. And then this tarot is, I'm still kind of getting used to it. It's kind of in a different way of how they're showing you the suits, so y'all bear with me with that. I do have the book beside me in case, but I think I've studied it well enough. I'm ready. Okay, so we're going to jump right into this with the tarot. I am going to get some oracles as I go. I'm playing this by ear. We're going to take a look and see what your intuition's telling you, how to work through the fears. What is your intuition telling you at this time? What is your intuition telling you at this time? Okay, take a deep breath, and here we go. What is your intuition telling you at this time? Pile 1, what is their intuition telling them at this time? You have the Hanged Man. This has to do with seeing something in a different way. And a High Priestess. There's your intuition right off the bat. Look at that. That's pretty great. You're not seeing something in the way that you should be seeing it. Your intuition's off here. You feel like your intuition's off here, and you're needing to see something in a different perspective. This is like when you're like saying to yourself, I really need to get some kind of information so that I can really ground this way of thinking about the situation. Or you could be kind of left in a place of the unknown, and so you don't have any other choice but to try to find some information or figure some information out. So that, I mean, you can possibly see this in a different way. We have Pisces and Pisces here. What is it about Pisces? Something maybe particular about Pisces that means something to you. I also can tell you Casey, who donated this deck to the channel, is a Pisces. So that's that. That's so interesting, isn't it? Also that Pisces energy, you're trying to figure out what to believe, perhaps. It's a very mystical kind of energy. It's part of the 12th house, which is all about the subconscious and all about spirituality and karma. And I think you're trying to figure out what to believe. You're needing to see something in a different point of view or perspective so that you can figure out what to believe. Because your intuition's off, right? And Knight of Swords. What's true? So that you can make the right decision and acting on something. This is the, here we go, I'm already there. This is the, what is this? It's the Nine of Swords. So it's kind of like, it's the Nine of Swords in reverse. That's why I can't understand this card. How interesting. Because the cat, just like the High Priestess, the cat, you can't tell what's up from down. That's what it is. That's what they're trying to say. You can't tell what's up from down here. That's weird how I interpreted that, and it got to that. This is the Nine of Swords in reverse. So you need to take some kind of action to get out of this feeling of overwhelmed or anxious. But you have to, you don't know where to go with this. Okay, hold on, guys. Bear with me here. This is the Seven of Cups in the reverse. You're trying to make some kind of choice. This also has to do with listening to your gut. Okay, so let's put this into a better context about what this actually is talking about. Also, she smelt, I know I have my sage going, but I smelt a fireplace, like an outside fireplace, outdoor fireplace, or fire, which is about action. Hanged Man, please. Yeah. Look at that. It's another one that looks so similar, huh? This is the Six of Swords in the reverse. You're trying to make some kind of transition, or you're still holding on to something. What are you still holding on to? Needing to see a different perspective. Maybe of how to let go of something of the past. Or if you should let go of something. High Priestess in reverse. Or change something even. We have a Queen of Wands here in the reverse. You're not feeling very confident in whatever it is that you're unsure of. It's like you don't feel very confident in your intuition here. Obviously, you know, that's what this reading's about. Knight of Swords here. This is the Ten of Pentacles. This is taking action towards some sort of home, foundation. Okay, I'm starting to understand. Nine of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, that's the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. There's a few different storylines here as well. Seven of Cups in the reverse. King of Pentacles. Okay. You're trying to listen to your gut here about whether or not you can trust someone or a situation. You have this gut feeling that you can trust this person or this situation, or trust yourself, that you can take control or be stable here. But there's still some question about that. you're having a hard time being like, okay, this is definitely the decision that I need to make. This is definitely the action that I want to take. You could have some kind of really like stable environment, situation, experience here, something that will last, something that's stable and will last long term, something that feels also very safe, like you feel very protected in this, something you can take action towards to getting to this point. But you're in a crossroads here between feeling confident and listening to your intuition and then having anxiety here about possibly losing out on this. So this right here is your main focus at this time. You're looking at these two different ways that something can go, or how it can transition. Whether or not you should make this move or not. Whether or not you should move in this direction. Why is the lack of confidence here? What is this about? You're really, really, really trying to listen to your intuition, but I think you're just the Hermit in reverse. You may be doing some overanalyzing about this. That could be throwing your intuition off. Also, this cat's in the bag, and it made me think the cat's out of the bag. So it could be whether or not to open up communication for some of you, not everybody's story, but for some of you, because that's a High Priestess in reverse. So it could be whether or not to communicate or tell someone something here. Whether or not you can trust someone is something that's there. The cat's out of the bag. What is that about? For others of you, it's about just you've been doing so much overanalyzing of the situation and what action to take that you've actually almost talked yourself out of it. You know, you've kind of backed yourself into a corner, I guess you could say. Why is the Hermit in the reverse? It's the Nine of Pentacles. You don't know if you'll be happy with this or if you'll be satisfied. You may feel like this. If there's someone else here, you may feel like you don't know if they'll be happy here or satisfied with this. You don't know if this person is maybe in the best place, or if you have what you need in order to, and that could be where the confidence is coming in. For those of you where that's the situation, where you're kind of sitting here and thinking, I don't know if I have the confidence that I need, or if I have the financial backing, or if I'm at a place, if I'm at a good place to where I feel good about where I am and where myself is. For some of you, this could be because you're trying to think about making a change, and you could be stepping away from that stability in order to gain like even more. So it's like I'm very comfortable where I am. I don't know if I want to step outside of my comfort zone in order to go after that dream or that goal. This could also, if this is someone, this is most definitely stepping outside of your comfort zone here and maybe breaking the silence here with someone even, but, or just being expressive, you know, wanting to express yourself. If this has to do with your own independence, it's finding that courage in yourself that you are capable and that you have what it takes and that you are of value. That's what's throwing your intuition off. The lack of that. So many different kinds of scenarios, right? So let's see if we can narrow it down a little bit. Why is the Six of Swords in the reverse? Judgment. Yeah, because you don't know what judgment call to make. So this is where we're sitting, okay? I'm going to go back through this, and I'm going to try to sum this up so it makes sense to everybody. Real quick, though, before we do that. Why the Five of Pentacles in the reverse? The Two of Swords. That's what I thought. Okay. There's the decision crossroads that I was talking about earlier. This is the Four of Pentacles, and this is the overall energy of where you are, okay? So where are you, pile one? You're sitting in a position to where you're thinking about what you've experienced up until this point, what you want to hold on to, and what you could have to let go of or need to let go of. This could be physically or mentally. How you can hold on to what you have. This is what you're thinking about. How can I hold on to my comfort or my stability of the way things are now, with still being able to take a leap of faith, make a decision to move into a direction where I could have more, but I don't know that that's a guarantee, right? This is your overall energy. So your intuition is trying desperately to get any and all information or anything that would help you get a different perspective, that could help you feel more assured that the choice that you're making is the right choice. And you're really struggling with your intuition about this. There is a little bit of lack of confidence, fear of rejection, that's here, that you're trying, like you're almost just like searching for that confidence. I need to have that reassurance. I need to have that confidence. I need to know for a fact, that I'm doing the right thing. So you're pulling and pulling and pulling in your intuition, and you're starting to get into the darker places where you're starting to confuse yourself of whether or not this is the choice that you should make, and if what's your intuition versus what's your fear, right? But you know that you want to take action towards this goal, towards this sense of stability here in some way. And you want to overcome your greatest fear. You want to overcome the fear of feeling lack, like you're not enough. It's not going to be what you think. This is your fear, the fear of lack. And you're making a decision, or you're afraid you'll make a decision based off of a fear of losing something. That's the really core to the problem here. You don't want to make the wrong decision, right? So you're overcoming these anxieties, and it's overwhelming. But your gut is still telling you, you still can't let this go. Your gut's still telling you to trust it. Your gut's still telling you to go for it. You just can't let it go. So it has to be part of your intuition, right? Something's calling you towards a direction. And transitions are scary. What if it's not what I think it is? What if it's not what I really want? It's something that is going to change things. So once you make this decision and move forward, you can't go back on whatever that is. You have to keep moving forward. So let's get some advice on that note. I don't know why I'm called to the Kipper cards, guys, so let's just see what comes up. Sorry, I know I got quiet, but taking the time to think. What do we need to know here for pile 1 about this? What do we need to know about this? False person. Number 8. So you don't know if you can trust someone here or not. Perhaps. You don't know. And this could be, remember, within yourself. Like a imposter syndrome or something like that you're struggling with as well, right? When it comes to your confidence and your value of what you can bring to the table. You may be worried here, just a little message here for some of you. You may be worried here about what someone else thinks or feels of you if there's been some kind of silence here, okay? Some of you may not know if you're worried you're not good enough. That's something that's really, like, you're a false person. You know what I mean? That plays on your insecurities here. It's where that fear is coming from. False person. Some of you, this has to do with someone, whether or not you can trust someone. anything else. High honor. Number 25. You're working through where, again, your zone is, right? Where your boundaries lie. That's something I think will also be really helpful, by the way, moving forward. If you are going after something, right, and you're making the decision to do that, and you're in a position that you are where you feel like you need to do it, but you're also very afraid of making the wrong decision or doing something that you can't go back on, right? You really need to prioritize what parts are important to you the most when it comes to the pros and the cons of this situation playing out. And where your boundaries lie, I think, is really important. Like setting some kind of ground rules of what you will and won't put up with, what you're saying to yourself, okay, if they act in a certain way, or if I start feeling a certain way, then I'll take a step back. You know, set yourself, be responsible of your emotions and your needs and where they lie, and continue to do that when it comes to making this decision as you move forward. Because I think it's a process. I think it's something that you're going to have to continue to check in with your intuition on. It's not like it's just one decision and that's the decision and that's it. It's some kind of process to where you're going to have to continue to make decisions, and you need to make those based off of where you feel you're ready, you're capable, you're comfortable, okay? And journey, yeah. And it's a journey moving forward. Some of you, this has to do with actual, you know, a move, or this is representing that transition, that Six of Swords. And that 10, you know, that 10 of Pentacles, moving into a place of security and abundance, and it's a journey to get to that place. Also remembering that is important as well. You know, you can't always make something be great overnight. It's a process. That's why it's important to listen to your intuition as you go. Check in with yourself. Continue to check in with yourself. We also have mature man here as well, number 5. So there may be someone here that, and this could be this King of Pentacles here as well. This might have to do with the move or something like that. He's looking at the world. But again, that's like closing out a cycle somewhere and starting a whole new cycle here. This could be starting a whole new cycle with someone. Or it's just you with mature man kind of stepping up into that place to where you're taking control for yourself and your own happiness and your own needs. And doing what you feel like is important and right to you, to your morals, to your values, where you sit, is also very important. You know, when we make a decision to do something, it's like we think about, well, what if I didn't do it? Will I have regrets later that I didn't at least try, or I didn't at least do everything that I could to make sure that I was sure. You know what I mean? It's just being more mature or more aware. Let's say that. Being more aware of how much control you have in a situation and what control you don't have. Right? And all you can do in the moment is make the best decisions for yourself based off of the present moment and what you at least know about the future and the past, for sure. Okay. Let's get some advice. I'm going to move into... What am I going to move into? I want to get some, I want to get some cards from Spirit. I am going to pull a postcard from Spirit to end here as well. And one more thing. This right here. So however this helps, I hope it helps. I know this is different from what I usually do, and I just felt the need to do this. Normally these don't get very many readings or views, but I always feel like they're like the most helpful, you know. And I just feel like we all get into that spot in our lives where we would do anything just to see a different perspective of a situation that would help us handle, deal, cope with that better, you know. So So hopefully that's what you gained here from this in some way. What does pile 1 need to know? Okay. Look at that. Celebrate success. Number 50. 5. Number of change. You have it here a few times. Right? Yes. 1, 2, 3. 5, 5, 5 is the number of change. Celebrate success. Be proud of what you have achieved. You've struggled long and hard to get to this moment. Yeah, it's funny because this may be an ultimate goal that you've always had. And you know, right before you get to the finish line is when you start to have those fears that sink in all of a sudden, like, oh, what if I trip before I get there? Oh, what if somebody else gets in front of me right at the end? You know, stuff like that. That's when it starts to get real intense, right? So this is kind of reassurance in a way that you are headed in the right direction. Then you have sit this one out. Number 76. Something is not quite right. Wait a little longer before taking action. The timing is off, or it could be the wrong decision. This is what your whole entire reading here was about. So if for whatever reason, and only I feel like for whatever reason, you keep getting the sit back, the stop sign. Let me tell you a story. What I mean by this. I had somewhere I wanted to go for Thanksgiving, to be with my family over Thanksgiving last year. And I started to go in that direction. My car messed up about 30 minutes into the trip. So I had to turn around, come back home with my 3 children. So we had all of our bags packed, everything ready to go. Turn around, come back home. They're all disappointed. I tried to find a different way to go. I tried 2 other different ways to try to get to go, and both of them kept canceling themselves out. And then finally, we woke up that morning. We were going to ride with my sister down there, and my son was sick. Those are red lights. Those are red lights. And you know, interesting enough, on her way home, she actually had a blowout. And it makes me wonder, what if I was driving and that wouldn't have happened the same way? You know, just think about stuff like that. So if some of you, and this isn't everybody's story, right? But if some of you just keep getting the red light, it may be that it's not the right time, or it could be the wrong decision. So from celebrate success and sit this one out, if you feel like something, once you get started or get going, like I said with those boundaries, you start feeling like this doesn't feel good, this doesn't feel right, I'm not feeling good about this, that's when you know you need to sit it out. Take a break. Maybe wait a little longer. You know? I want to get one more. It's not like you can't know the future until you make the decision, you know? And by then you have to do what you feel like's right for you as you go. Love is in the air, number 62. Let falling in love teach you divine lessons. It's worth working on, but honest conversations will be the key to overcoming the difficulties or differences. So if you have some differences here in the situation, or you're wanting to, okay, let me slow down for a second because I'm seeing a lot. Some of you, this is the 3 scenarios that I was talking about, and I'll get to that. I want to focus on this one here because it has to do with, I think it has to do with a relationship and whether or not someone is who they say they are, or whether or not you can trust someone here. This says, let falling in love teach you divine lessons. It's worth working on, but honest conversations will be the key to overcoming the differences. If you have some differences that's going on here with someone, but you still have a gut feeling that they're your person, or you feel like you still feel confident, or you feel good with them, and you've been struggling with that, this is kind of insinuating that if you can have open and honest conversations to overcome the difficulties that you're going through at this time, that it can be something that is worth working on, that you will gain a lot of confidence as you go through the process, right? Working through that process. But you have to have honest conversations, and you have to be authentic and true to who you are. The other thing is, if this is someone that your gut's telling you this is not, you know, who you think, or you can start to work on things with this person, and you don't feel like honest conversations, You don't feel like you're overcoming the differences. Really pay attention to where your boundaries are and where your happiness lies, and when something is taking from you and no longer giving to you in any way. How that affects your life. Okay? So always use your own discernment here with that. And also know that anybody and everybody that we're drawn to in this life is meant to teach us something. And those lessons will help us to move forward and find the person that we are meant to be with, or that we are meant to have in our lives, right? Okay. This situation here I've already talked about, so I don't want to go back to, but it talks about, like I said, about my story, making the right decision, taking a set out if you need to. The celebrate success here, for some of you, this has to do with feeling confident and moving forward and advancing and to moving on to like going for the goal, right? And believing in yourself. And this has to, it kind of goes back to paying attention to the progress that you've made, the achievements that you've made, and the fact that you have gotten to this point that you're at. And that is something to be proud of within itself. You know, I think a lot of the times we just see that what's in front of us and like what we want are our goals. We forget that person that was so excited and so ready and had all the visions and all the ideas and was on fire for whatever it was that you're trying to be successful at here. Don't forget about that person, because that person, where you are now, would be ecstatic for you. You understand what I'm saying? So remember the process of where you've come from and how you've struggled long and hard to get to the place that you're at. That's where you find your fire and being able to find your confidence and strength, right? Okay. Let's get some messages here from Spirit. Spirit, the universe, whoever you think about, or whoever, when you're down on your knees or you're struggling, you're asking help from, whoever that person is for you. Let's see, what advice? Whoa, okay. I was excited. What if it isn't true? Yep. What if what you're telling yourself is not the truth? The thing that you're telling yourself right now, the concrete reasons why you think that you don't belong, you can't do it, you won't get there, you're not enough, or it's not for you. What if it wasn't true? It's time for your soul chat. Close your eyes, put your hands on your heart, and ask the wise one within you. What if it wasn't true? What if it isn't true? What else might be a possibility? What lie do I need to let go of to reach my soul's truth? I mean, not a lot to say after we just literally got done talking about your worth, right? Okay. Yeah, we lie to ourselves a lot, don't we? Tell ourselves all kinds of stories. What if our minds were our world and whatever we told ourselves in our mind was our reality, whether it was true or not? I feel like that's how it works. So be careful how you talk to yourself, right? Okay. 2 cards came out, and I'm absolutely going to read both of them because y'all may not have seen it, but they came out in a hurry. So they both need to be read, and we did have so many different scenarios here. So, you are loved. Dearest you, we're sending you waves of love and joy as we watch you reap the rewards of your tenacity and faith. We know how long it's taken you to reach some of your goals and that you've had disappointments along the way. Right now we suggest you take a deep breath and fill yourself up with gratitude and tune into the vibration of well-being. temporary conditions may be trying to hypnotize you into seeing something else as your reality. That's weird. I just said that. But we know that happy rewards are on their way to you even now. Change is the only constant, so be open to it. You will achieve your dreams and more, we promise. But more important, your happy rewards will be gathered up in the small moments, the gentle breezes and the soft kisses, and the quiet compliments. Your happy moments will be on the journey itself, not in arriving at any destination. You are surrounded by so much love and care. Can you feel us? Okay, so that's obviously that one scenario I was talking about. And then we have with love. Dearest you. Selfless giving is an elixir so sweet and life-giving and amazing that it should be customary for everyday living. Right now, generosity is being asked of you. Let go of doubt, maybe debt. Release an obligation, or do a solid kindness to someone for no other reason than the exercise of your heart. You will be surprised at how quickly a generous heart is repaid. We know it often doesn't happen in the intimate exchange, so temper your expectations. Know that life has an uncanny way of seeing miracles seamlessly unrelated to your kindness, yet interconnected in magical ways. The more you act from generosity, the better your heart grows, and the more love and abundance you will experience. We also know that someone could be entering your life with a generous offer for you. Take it and trust you are worthy and deserving of it. You have to receive, not just give. We love you so much over here. Oh, man, I don't know why the bottom of that one got me. And it made me want to cry when they said that. I don't know if that's a message for someone. Oh, now I feel called to some cards. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to pull one. These are the messages from heaven. But we're not going to cry in this reading, so y'all suck it up. I'm just kidding. That was a joke, by the way. There's nothing wrong with crying. Okay, let's see. These are the communication cards, messages from heaven. These were a gift from Marina, sweet lady. But I haven't been using them very often. I don't know why. They've been right here on my desk. So y'all, you have a picture of the beach here with 2 chairs, and it says number 12, which is so crazy because number 12 is the Hanged Man, and that's the first card that came out for you guys. It says, we understand that sometimes you may feel alone, but we are always here. Now don't cry, okay? We just talked about it. Okay. You'll have Piglet in the poll, which I feel like may be something special to somebody. But Piglet's all about the curiosity, right? And, you know, we have the cat tarot here, and they say curiosity killed the cat. The cat is like the intuition, your intuition, what your intuition's telling you, which is what this reading's all about. So it's almost like, don't let your curiosity of what your intuition's telling you hurt you. Let it help you. And when it's hurting you, it's when you're in more of an illusion and not your intuition. So again, be careful what you're telling yourself, because that's what's creating that reality for you, whether it's true or not, okay? That's something that's there. It's okay to get curious too, though. Some of you, I feel like you're curious about doing something, and that's an indicator here to kind of get more curious about whatever that is. You could excel or exceed in that area, whatever message that's meant to be. This always reminds me of Judgment here, which you have here on the table as this overall energy for the Hanged Man in reverse. So making that judgment call here, blowing that horn, making that judgment call here is important. This is also like the Ace of Pentacles. So some of you have a solid new opportunity here for something. If you don't yet, I feel like you will in the near future. Some of you, this may be a decision that has yet to be made or seen. Okay, so timelines are also could be different here. Okay, we have W or M, E, P, a Z, a Y, and an X. So we have X, Y, and Z here. That's like wrapping up something, right? Needing to wrap something up. I feel like some of you are fixing to take off into a whole big and new adventure. And if that's the case, I feel like be curious about that new beginning. You know, it's okay to be curious about that new beginning or that opportunity for that, without feeling scared about it, you know. I don't know what that means, but okay. Also, Pewee, it keeps playing in my head, like, ew, Pewee. That, I don't know why. I don't know, maybe somebody needed to do that. Who knows? Alright, guys. Maybe that goes with it stinks, but just, you know, sometimes life stinks or things stink, or if it doesn't work out, it stinks, you know, or whatever, but make sure that you're still giving your chance that opportunity. Right? Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I'll hold this up. Paws could be important too as well. So thanks, guys, for being here. Thanks for all your love and support. I hope this helps, if anything. I hope you have something to take away from this and it helps you in the future. Good luck to you guys. And if you don't mind hitting that like button, that really helps me out. I appreciate y'all so very much. Y'all go check out, please, the Mosaic Mermaid Tarot. Her information's down below in the description box. And I will see you guys soon. Bye. Hey, Paul 2. So if you chose the Mystical Cats Tarot, this is going to be your reading. So, Paul 2, we're going to take a look into what your intuition is telling you, or how to get through or work through some fears. Okay? So, really kind of what your intuition is versus your fear. And I still don't know what I'm going to title this reading. Okay, so we're going to get right into the tarot. And I just saw a squirrel, literally a squirrel, not that I'm seeing squirrels. There was literally one just on my fence when I was opening your reading. So you may be feeling a little squirrely here. You may be feeling a little bit out of touch with your intuition, perhaps. Focus on any and all information that you're wanting to see or understand that you may not know or be aware of. Anything that could be helpful come through this reading will help for your highest good towards the light. Let's see. Pile 2. What does Pile 2 need to know? What is their intuition telling them? What does Pile 2 need to know? What is their intuition? What is their intuition telling them? What is Pile 2's? We have the Queen of Cups, Cancer energy here, okay? We have the Nine of Wands. Some of you may be struggling with how you feel, fighting with how you feel. You have a Seven of Wands. It's again a card of struggle. Maybe defending how you feel, perhaps. The Seven of Pentacles. Let's get one more. We'll get some clarifiers as well. You have this is the Knight of Swords in the reverse. Okay. There may be something to do with some inaction that's being taken at this time. Tell me about the Queen of Cups. You have the Seven of Swords. There are seven here. It's hard to say. I think you're trying to figure out what's right for you or what's in alignment with you in your intuition. This has to do with your feelings. And I think you may be being strategic with your feelings or hiding how you feel. Tell me about the Nine of Wands. The Tower in reverse. Some of you could be trying to avoid a disaster, so you're hiding how you really feel. And that's, you're struggling there, you're struggling. with trying to just avoid disaster, right? Or trying to avoid chaos. 7 of fire. There's the Hanged Man in reverse. Pisces energy. You have Scorpio there as well. It's like you're defending your position in some way, or you feel the need. Some of you, it's like you feel the need to defend yourself. 7 of Pentacles. Strength in reverse. What's your intuition telling you here with the Knight of Tom? You have a 4 of Cups here in reverse. You're fighting here with what you feel like you want to do and whether or not you should. What is the 7 of... What's this here? The 7 of Swords. The 4 of Wands. How interesting is this? You're trying to keep the peace or harmony here. Yeah, the 5 of Cups in the reverse. You're waiting for something to change. Or you're wanting something to change. But you're trying to keep the peace, keep the harmony in a situation. You're being strategic here as well with how you manage your feelings and someone else's security even, how they feel perhaps. Tell me about the Tower in reverse. You have the 2 of Pentacles in the reverse. You're struggling with the unknown. You're struggling with here not being able to see whether you should go down this route or that route. It's almost like you're tiptoeing around a situation in order to maintain a certain sense of avoiding conflict. You're struggling. It could be that a decision is not in your hands, and that could be why you're struggling. I think you're playing it safe, though. It's almost like you're struggling to maintain how you feel. Like you're trying to get a grasp of how you feel, or you're trying to control your emotions. This is interesting. I'm going to sum all this up once I get everything out, by the way. I want to know about that Hanged Man in reverse. Consequences. This is justice. Some of you, you may have made the wrong decision at some point. And you're playing out some consequences around this. Maybe you were being too strategic. Maybe you were being sneaky because you were afraid to lose something here with that 5 of Cups in reverse. And this is something that you carry with you, or something that you think a lot about. And I think that you don't know... You don't want to make the wrong decision here, so you're avoiding disaster. You're avoiding maybe someone, or you're just playing it safe. What is this? Hold on just a second. A Strength in reverse. Look at that. 2 of Swords here in reverse. This is when you're indecisive here. I think you're indecisive about what to invest in the future, whether something is going to work out long term here or not. You feel like your weakness is the investment part. Waiting. Some of you, this has to do with impatience, because the Knight of Swords can be a card being impulsive, wanting to just choose whatever for yourself, or maybe think about just yourself. Or, you know, the Four of Cups here is like you're just wanting to choose your own happiness and forget about whatever's happened. Or you may be waiting for someone to accept something. Or you're impulsive to go towards a new experience, you know, something like that. You're indecisive here about whether something is the right decision. A good investment, if it's strong enough. There's a lot of impatience and frustration that I'm feeling here, guys. And it's a really weird contrast, because you have this Queen of Cups. So I feel like this Queen of Cups may be someone else. Where there could be a lot of feelings here, a lot of emotions that you're keeping to yourself. About, I think, what it is that you want, or what you would want. And you're afraid of losing. Your fear is losing something that you're emotionally attached to. This could, for some of you, this could be somebody around you. I'm reading their energy. But you're struggling here with just trying to avoid making a decision, having to make a decision, or step outside of your comfort zone, or just, you're struggling here with playing it safe. But you're trying to. You're trying to make sure that you don't make the wrong decision, the wrong move. You're taking your time here, but you're struggling here with that, with taking your time. I also think that you're trying to defend your, like, the period of wait that's here, or like if you feel like this is the right thing, you know, putting something on pause or putting something on the back burner, or just, there's all the reasons why you should kind of just sit on this or wait for something here. But you're struggling with doing that. But you feel like that's what's fair. You're trying to do the right thing by someone or something. And you're in a place to where you're looking at things long term. And if you're going to be strong enough, or if you're going to be capable, or if you're going to be able to, there's something here about someone losing interest or losing out. This right here is interesting to me. And then there's all this impulsiveness that just comes in, where you're impulsively, like, in a way, or denying accepting something, or you're worried about someone not accepting something. This is an energy of where you get burned out on waiting, even though you know that's fair, right? You're fighting against your own impulsivities, and you just want to choose yourself, you know, or choose happiness, or choose a new experience, or just let something go, or it's just accept something for what it is. But you're struggling with that. This is a, why is that Two of Swords in reverse? You're not strong enough to make a decision here at this time about whether or not you should invest in something, or whether or not you should be patient and wait for something. maybe to change, to work out, give someone time. Three of Fire in the reverse. This is another card of waiting. Another card of waiting. This is like, what if I don't plant the right seeds here? Or what if I'm wasting my time? You know, I'm very nervous or afraid or frustrated because I can't see what the future holds. It could be up to someone else and you're having to defend like how you see fairness or justice here. There may be someone else that disagrees with you about this. Or you're just fighting with what's right within yourself. It's weird because I feel like some of you are maybe, yeah, the Empress is the overall energy here. Some of you may be fighting with yourselves internally about being impulsive. You're trying to not make impulsive decisions. This Empress here is your bottom of the deck overall energy with the stars. Yeah, there's definitely something here overall that you're wanting to do, wanting to go towards, wanting to, like something here that you're wanting to jump on, that you want to nurture. That's very, it could be someone, but it's like you have this feeling or desire to go after something here. But for whatever reason, right now is like not the time. You don't have what you need. And it could be you don't have what you need from the other person. Like maybe what they want, what they desire, where they're at. Or you don't have what you need like physically. And you're reevaluating this. You're reevaluating what your future is, what you really want. What you see as abundant. Okay? You want to grow something. You have a desire here. And you're holding yourself back at this time from achieving that desire that you have because of justice. You haven't quite seen the full picture. You haven't quite understood how you really feel. You haven't quite understood how someone else really feels. You need to take things slow. You need to play it safe so you don't create some sort of maybe outside conflict, or you need to play it slow here so you don't have any kind of conflict that occurs because of the choices that you make. And also you need to defend, like you're going to need to defend your perspective of why this is fair for you or why this is fair for the situation. Or you're telling yourself that. Like this is the right or the fair thing to do. And one side of you wants to kind of go towards what makes you happy. Also, you're worried about acceptance in some way. The actions that you take, if they'll be accepted. Or you just have to accept how things work out. When you're investing in something here, long term, it's like a seed being put into the ground. And you don't know what's going on, really, underneath the ground. You only know when the seed starts to sprout, that it's doing okay, right? And I think that's where you get tied up mentally with your intuition and your fear, right here, with the decisions that you make and whether or not they are going to, you know, sprout a good harvest, whether they're going to flourish. And it's almost like you're needing this time, or you're having to take time. You're making yourself almost. so that this is a overall a better possibility of having an abundant outcome. And you're struggling with that because of the strength in reverse. So we have Libra and Taurus and Leo, Pisces, Scorpio here, Cancer energy. This right here is the weakness. Strength in reverse. So when it comes to making a decision and moving things forward, or the fact that you have to wait here, is what's weakening maybe even your desire to invest. You're worried about it being a waste of time. But your emotions are here. You're being strategic at how you bring something together because you don't want to lose it, or you're worried about losing it. Okay. I'm going to use these, I guess. No, I'm not. I'm not going to use those. I'm going to use these. These are the Audi Oracles, TwinFlame Audi Oracles. I just want to get some more information about what this is. I hope that made sense, because boy, at the beginning that was really complicated. And I think that's the whole point of this. I think that you may be overcomplicating something, where you get into those phases to where you're like, you want to just be impulsive, but then you know you need to take a step back, or you know you need to slow down or pause or something like that. Tell me more about this. Beauty and the Beast. Major differences, feeling love life is cursed and desperately looking for true love. So yeah, I mean, if this has to do with a relationship, guys, or it's just something that you're wanting to do that you love, it could be something very different from what you've ever experienced with major differences. It could also be that there are some big obstacles in the way or challenges in the way. And if there's big challenges in the way, especially when it comes to a relationship, most definitely that's something that you would want to take slowly, right, to work through those challenges. And you would have go through stages to where you have to figure out if this is something that aligns with you or not. And are those challenges worth the experience when it comes to the outcome that you're going to gain, right? That's kind of what we're seeing here. But you're fighting against yourself about being impulsive here, because there are a lot of emotions that are here to want to be impulsive or want to do that. But at the end of the day, it's also about you need to do what you feel like is right for you when it comes to your own peace, right? I think you get a little burned out here on having to accept something here as well. Having to accept something. And that might have to do with the way you handled a situation, or someone did, you know, with that Seven of Swords. What else can you tell me? If this is a relationship, you may go through experiences, or this may be an experience where you kind of get into a place of like pity, where you feel like your love life is cursed, like you're your own demise in some way, or it never works out. Like you may go through these little phases of feeling that way, but I think you pull yourself out of it. At times you may feel that way. And we have infinite abundance here. You may feel like you're very different as well from someone else. Prosperous life, unexpected windfalls, and knowing your self-worth and value. That's this Empress energy. But again, with that pomegranate there, you know, you're seeing something in abundance. You see something as, it may be a lot different from what you've experienced, and it could lead to something very prosperous. But the clock is slow. Nailed it. Oh, that's so awesome. Slow progress will take a while and not the right time. So that's it. And at the bottom of the deck, you have Calm Storm, which not frazzled by it, self-control, and not reacting to the negativity. So again, there's something here that's, you know, something here I feel like here. I don't know if I should I dig on that? Let's dig on it. Why not? What is here? Thank you. You know what I was going to say. Cool peppermint, refreshing new energy, interesting and stimulating, pleasantly different from your usual type. So there's that differences that's there. Why are you showing me this, though, with avoiding the negativity? Sacrifice. A difficult decision, aligning your priorities, and must give up something to win. Refreshing, new, interesting and stimulating. There's something here that you're having to make a difficult decision about. And it could have to do with, if this is about something that's totally different from what you've experienced, but you have to make sacrifices in order to fully experience whatever this is. And that might be something that you've never done before. And that's why it's such a difficult decision. But what's pulling you in that direction is this infinite abundance that's here. It's just that the clock is slow. So that is your struggle, the slow moving energy. With the slower moving energy, you can create more illusions or create more deception or create more fear, you know, when things are taking a certain amount of time. So let's see if we can fix that. Because two possibilities at a crossroads, critical stage, exploring options. This is where you're sitting here with all these twos. You're fixing to start moving in a direction where you're going to have to start making some decisions. Heavy decisions based off of what you're wanting to grow. And it's almost like you don't know if you're ready. But you also don't want to miss out. It's like looking at something too and going, if this is going to bring abundance, or this could bring abundance, I need to be patient. Or why is something taking so long? And also fear of wasting your time. Because there's two possibilities here of how this could go. So when you're looking at, okay, it could either go this way or it could go this way. If I'm going to make some sacrifices here to go after this, obviously it's either going to be something that you're going to be gaining or you could lose here, right? Some of you may have waited like you've put too much focus into, like you're taking too long at making a decision. Or you're afraid of that. Okay, now I'm starting to sink into all of your fears. Let's see. What else does Pile 1 need to know? So I have an air sign here. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. What does Pile 1 need to know? Intuition. The red flags that you're ignoring now will come back to bite you later. This is what you're afraid of here. Yeah, this is, see, it's not that you're in a bad position, right? I think this has to do with time. If you were coming to this reading with the title of what's your intuition trying to tell you, I think it's that you're worried about some things that you may be letting, like, it hasn't been enough time gone by, or you may be letting go of too soon, making some sacrifices here. You're worried about whether the things that you're seeing here are red flags for you that may come back and bite you later, may come back and bite you later. I think you're worried about that. And I think that you could be in a place to where you're like, okay, so what if this is a red flag and I'm not acknowledging it as that, and then it's something that comes back and bites me later? Or what if I make a decision too quickly and that's something that comes back and bites me later? This is something that you're struggling with or you're thinking about, right? You're definitely in your thoughts here about all the differences and what you've experienced up until this point. But your intuition is still telling you could be very abundant here as well. And gambling. Problems with addiction or gambling and bad finances. So this is kind of like, there may be something here that you've neglected to express. Well, that's not for everybody, but or someone around you. And this is maybe why you're taking your time, or you feel like it's not the right time. It could be that either you or someone here could be trying to straighten something out, and it's just taking too long, or you're trying to figure out something about somebody. Like, why is something taking too long? And it could have something to do with finances or an addiction of some sort, or some kind of, you know, somebody gambling here with something. But I also can see this as gambling your time, you know? You're worried about giving away time to something that's, and sacrificing here for something new or different that could be prosperous. What if it's not? What if it's not? 4 of C in reverse. The sky C. Yeah, give it time. Everything is divine timing. Let things flow. So you're trying to accept the fact that you can't take action right now, or you can't do that thing right now, or you just have to sit for the moment, right? You're trying to give it some time. It's funny, I talked about the sprout, and you see it right here. So this, the 4 of Cups is also like having faith that everything's going to work out, you know. It's like paying attention that, in fact, I've kind of been sitting here for way too long thinking about this. Maybe it won't be like the last ones were, you know. Maybe this relationship's different, or this situation's different, and I'm going to accept where I am, that I can't take the actions I want at this time, but there's a purpose behind that for whatever reason. And I don't think that you're in the wrong place. I think that you're obviously, if you're where you are, my words messed up. If you are where you are, then you're in the right place. Period. Whether there's a lesson to learn there, or there's abundance that's around the corner, you're going to be able to take something from this that will ultimately help you to understand what your happiness looks like. Gosh, I'm having a really hard time. Look, bottom of the deck. Patience. Just a few more months. Good things come to those who wait. So for some of you, this is it. You've sacrificed yourself, or you're sacrificing things here, and you just need to be patient. And I think for some of you, this has everything to do with that, being patient. That is so crazy. What else do I want to pull here? I want to get some more information, because this kind of advice-wise, that's what I need. Let's just use one of these. So you could be dealing with an air sign here, or this could just be you heavy in your thoughts about the differences maybe between the two of you. If this is another person, or it's just a situation, like the differences that are there. This has to do with wasting your time, whether or not you want to waste your time. But there's definitely some emotions that are here for sure. There's attachment that's here that you don't want to lose. But in order to have a fresh new beginning, or in order to have something different, you have to sacrifice something. And I'm not going to get too far into that. I'm going to let y'all decide what that is. But you have to align your priorities here in order for things to change. Okay, let's see. What else? Good luck. Number 30. Your angels are sending you a lucky break. You're about to step into one of the most prosperous and abundant chapters in your life. So patience is that's the saying, right? Patience is a virtue here. We have a healthy changes. So this is something that's going to be a healthy change, but it's very different from what you've experienced. So the challenge here is the big difference, right? There's something in your life that isn't helping your body or mind. Focus on creating a wellness-focused mind and body. So for some of you with this, I have to say with this addictions here, if you kind of are experiencing some unhealthy, toxic patterns in any way, shape, or form that is hard on you mentally or physically, that could be a lot of things, different for everybody. Some things are maybe good, can be bad, depending on the balance that you have with that, right? So keep that in mind. Make sure you're making healthy choices. For a lot of you, this has to do with your mental capacity. And I laugh because you are pushing against your impulsivity here. So continuing to use that energy. If you're blocking yourself off from what you feel impulsive like you need to do, out of just wanting to be happy or get out of your head or whatever the case, put that into something that's beneficial for you. Something that you need to be able to be expressive with, or something that you've been putting on the back burner that you need to do, or something. Just that energy's got to go somewhere, and it will help you mentally if you could just throw that energy into something else that's beneficial, right? Anything, oh yeah, there's one more here I missed. Vibe check, number 29. Low vibrational energies are affecting your ability to manifest your best life. Clear the negative energy that's attached to you. This can also just be fear because something is taking too long or there's obstacles in the way. And getting ready to or wanting to throw in the towel before you even get that full grasp of what's possible here. And an overall message here, obviously, is to give it some time and be patient. I feel like this card does say, and this came out in a reading the other day, but this card does say just a few more months. So if that's the case for some of you, maybe give it, I would never say wait for anything, of course, I have to say that, but listen to your own intuition here about giving something some time, because I feel like what these cards say is luck is on your side here with this. Definitely on your side here with this. We're going to get one of these, and I'm going to get a postcard from Spirit, and then we're going to close this, okay? And there it is. This came out the other day. You create your own reality. What you want you to. What do you want to experience? So kind of take a step back. This is the card number 1, which is that new beginning. Take a step back and look at what you really want from the situation. What you see as, when you close your eyes, if you had a dream of what your life looked like, what does that look like to you? And then start filling yourself up with that desire of wanting to feel that feeling, and focus on that and let that draw you in, and the positivity and the feeling of feeling good that you would feel, and not as much being focused on the negativity of things, the negative energy of what could happen on the other side, flip side, right? Sometimes we get so far into being afraid of what could happen that's not good that we forget about all the things that could happen that are good. And I think y'all just need to, it's like a scale, and you just need to balance it out a little more, right? There's healthy fears, right? But you have to also have positivity, healthy positivity as well. Has to be an equal balance. Okay. That makes sense. And postcard from Spirit. I'm going to leave you here with this. And we'll get some initials to close. Okay. Well, we'll just take that one, I guess. It popped right out. A hummingbird may be relevant here for someone. We have with love. Okay. Dearest to you, we bet you must be exhausted on some days, giving as much as you do, sharing your energy so beautifully in service of the highest good. can leave you feeling depleted, like an empty well. If it feels as if there's no more water for you, the good news is that we have a plan. Today, go take a relaxing bath, book a massage, read a novel, buy yourself flowers, or plant some in your garden. Talked about planting stuff. Make time for self-care, not more work on yourself. By tending to yourself now, you are reminded to do so more often. And be sure to use the word that might have caused you anxiety in the past, but is essential for your well-being now. No. Say it with us. No, thank you. No, I can't. You do not have to explain. Just say no gently but firmly, and then go for a soak. Life will wait for you to bring yourself back to center, replenished, and ready for more adventure. We love you so very much. So for some of you, making those healthy changes and choices have to do with, remembering to also nurture yourself as much as you do others. And what sacrifices that you do make. Changing the way that maybe you're the peacemaker. Maybe you're the one that's always being used in that way by others. And this may be a lesson in this in some kind of way with whatever situation that this is. Allowing something to play out and be patient and not try to take action to resolve the issues right away, right? But allow something to unfold naturally is important here. Okay. Something needs time, whatever this is. Something needs time. That's it. Okay. Time for what? Time, somebody else said that? I felt like somebody said, time for what? Time to think about, to reevaluate, whether it's you, this person, the situation, whatever it is. Something needs time. It's important here. It needs time for the dust to settle or something like that. Yeah, and you have there's something that needs time to seep in, to make sense, to be worked out. Something, it's going to take time to make the progress and something. And it's something that is going to become more abundant because of the time. Okay? If that makes sense. Hopefully. We have Texas here, so there's something. Okay. We have the screwdriver. We have a CD here, so a CD could be important. And a Z, and a T, and an A, and an N, and a heart, and an E, and another N. So that is that. Tan I put together on accident. Yeah, and a tan is something else that takes time. You know what I mean? Net is here as well. Net is something else that takes time. When you throw your net out, you wait. You have to wait. I guess depending on what you're getting, but okay. You have that black heart there as well. So maybe there's just something that's been laying on your heart in some way, or something that's pushing on you, in a certain way about maybe a decision that you made or making or something like that. Just time is needed. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. Thanks, guys, for being here. Thanks for all your love and support and kindness. If you don't mind, if this helps, which I hope it does, if you could hit that like button, it really helps me out a lot. I appreciate every one of you, and I hope to see you soon. Hey, Paw 3. So if you chose the Blooming Cat Tarot, this is going to be a reading. So we're going to take a look and see if we can figure out what your intuition's trying to tell you, okay? So whether this is your intuition that's trying to tell you something, or you're just wondering how to overcome a fear that you're already aware of, okay? Let's take a look and see if we can figure this out. So we're just going to use the tarot, and then I will pull whatever oracles I feel called to. Okay, so pile 3. What can you tell me here about pile 3? That was awful. Shuffle. Let's get one good one in before we start, at least. Okay. What does pile 3 need to know? What is their intuition telling them? What's pile 3's intuition telling them? 10 of Swords. Okay. Interesting. We have an 8 of Swords. We have a 2 of Swords. And Ace of Cups. Some kind of painful cycle here is, I feel like, trying to come to a close. Give me one more. Okay, 2 came out. This one's not flipped, but it's the Hierophant. Sorry, with the I said that weird, didn't I? With the Knight of Wands in the reverse. Why is the 10 of Swords here? King of Wands. That's interesting. Why is the 8 of Swords here? The Page of Cups in the reverse. You're in your head here whether or not you can believe someone. If someone, there's a lot to do with like let me keep going. I'm gonna sum this up here in just a minute. Why is the 2 of Swords here? The 9 of Wands. Ace of Cups. King of Cups. Okay. For some of you, there's an ending here with someone and a new beginning with someone. There's a decision between 2 people. There's a painful ending here with someone. Someone that, something to do with someone here you feel drawn to, attracted to, very, like they're very inspiring or very fiery. You know, this is Leo energy. You have Sagittarius, Aries. There's some sort of betrayal or painful ending associated with this person, and this for some of you could be you. You experienced this painful ending. Something came to a close here. Maybe something that you were feeling ready for or driven towards or wanting to do. And there's being in your head here, possibly about, some of you this has to do with a child, being in your head about a child. Being in your head about whether or not someone is emotionally available. This could even represent you, whether or not you are emotionally available. But Page of Cups is someone that can come across as being maybe emotionally immature, or they're upset here emotionally about something, like they let their emotions get the best of them. You could be in your head here about not letting your emotions get the best of you in a situation. That's what that is. And there's a decision that is really testing your faith. Decision that you're having to make, or someone making a decision. It's really testing you internally. You know, you're struggling with this and having faith in this situation, being strong in this situation. And there's love here for someone that you have. There's a new relationship, a brand new beginning, or a renewal or some sort. And there's a commitment to, this could be a renewal here in a relationship. Or it's just with someone new. And there's a commitment here around a behavior. So if someone has behaved a certain way in the past, there's a lesson behind this behavior and a need to change it. Committing to changing your behavior, or someone else is committing to changing. This is like, I'm going to change my ways, you know, or I'm going to be committed here. I want to commit. Why is the Ten of Swords with that King of Wands? The Fool in reverse. There was a false start here. Something didn't get off the ground, or it just didn't start. It started with a betrayal, perhaps, for some of you. It just didn't start right. You know, with the Fool being in reverse. It could have been there was a bad judgment call that was made that ended in a betrayal, caused a painful ending. Somebody lacked direction here that caused some sort of painful ending or betrayal. Why is the Page of Cups here in reverse with that Eight of Swords? Nine of Pentacles. It's just like, I don't know if this is somebody that's going to make me happy, or I don't know if I'm ready for this, or whether or not someone is capable of seeing your value. I don't know if this person is capable of seeing my value, or if they see me, if they're happy with what I can give to them, you know, or something like that. This is the energy of being in your head. So you're being in your head here about, some of you, this person or you may feel as if either you're not emotionally ready, or you're not it's like this person makes you feel like you're not as emotionally intelligent as you want to be. I mean, it's something about you getting in your head here about that. And it's like you wonder if this person recognizes you. You get in your head about that. If they see your value or worth. If they're capable of that. Huh. Okay. We just got a whole story here that popped out together. Justice. Libra energy. Seven of Pentacles. Page of Wands. And the Ten of Wands. This is about taking responsibility. And it being difficult. Interesting. The difficult part of this is sitting in a position to where you're needing to do what's right, or you're needing to make things right. And that takes time or investment, energy. And I think that you may feel like you may feel as if, I think you feel like something's coming to a close. Like the weight of something is coming to a close. Something that's really been laying on you. You feel like this is coming to a close finally, because of some sort of investment. It's like feeling like something paid off. If you're not here yet, I think you will be soon. So the timelines may be a little different, depending on where you're at with making a decision. If you have the strength, if you have the ability to be able to do something here that's gonna, take some time, take some responsibility here. It's paying off or it will. Okay? Paying off or it will. Nine of Wands. Two of Swords. The Four of Wands. This has to do with a home, stability, creating a sense of peace. Things will get to a peaceful place. It's difficult. It's been difficult making a decision or being at a crossroads, not knowing what's going to happen. It's been difficult, but it's been worth it because you have stability here. You have a sense of security here. Coming together. This is a union here, right? Four of Wands. This is peace. Harmony. When everything feels like it comes into alignment. For some of you, there's a relationship, and I think this is the same person. If not, it's someone, there's someone here of your past that created a inability to be able to see things for what they are. So there was still something that you were holding on to here with someone that caused you to act in an unfair way or act in a foolish way, or you made a poor judgment call some way. But you're still holding on to an ending here, a betrayal. So there yourself, you created some sort of maybe ending or betrayal. Okay? Not everybody's story, but that just went to somewhere. Right? This is Aries energy here as well. You have Leo, Scorpio energy, and Taurus. So I feel like this is hard for you, but I think that it has been hard for you. You know, you've had to really get out of your head, remember that you are important or valued or capable. You deserve this, you know, those kind of things are all there. You've kind of mentally fought with this. You've kept yourself kind of stuck with the past in some way, shape, or form, or the situation, and you're getting to a calmer place. Why is the King of Cups and the Ace of Cups here? The Devil. The Devil. There is an emotional attachment that is here. There's also this very attractiveness that's here as well. Like being very drawn into a relationship, being very pulled into. This is like a magnetic relationship. The Devil being that magnet, that you feel that intensity of a relationship, you know, with someone, the emotional intensity with someone, and it creates this attachment, right? Hierophant, Knight of Wands in the reverse. Sorry guys, my little one just came in. Okay, so we have the Hierophant and the Knight of Wands in the reverse. This is a lesson here, guys, on behavior. Okay? How you handled a situation, or how someone handled a situation, off of their impulsivities, the devil energy, you know, it's like that player kind of energy, or just not caring about others. There's a selfishness that's here, maybe some jealousy or insecurities that played out. And it's a lesson about that, in whatever shape or form that is, whether that's yours, theirs, whatever that is. That's what I'm saying. So that Knight of Wands in the reverse. Death, yeah. So whether someone didn't learn their lesson, maybe. This was the lesson. The lesson itself is change. Needing to change. I've got to change my ways, right? Yeah. This can also look in the way of not only changing your ways, but knowing that when something is no longer good for you. Knowing when something is no longer good for you. And making that decision to make that change is necessary. This is a lesson about this. Because death in reverse is like when something's done and over with, or should be, and it's decaying, you know, and you have to let it go. For some of you, not everybody, there could be some kind of person here that you do love, you do care for, you do have a bond with this person, but it could be a toxic bond, or you're seeing it as something that's not, it's not meant to be good. It won't create positivity, it won't create peace. And you're having to detach or let go of that. Even though you have this impulsive energy to want to repeat a cycle, right? It's like, you know, you need to change, or you know you need to not do that again. Okay, Ace of Pentacles just popped itself out when I said that, so I guess we'll leave that there. This is an opportunity to fix something or change something. What do I want to look at? What's more of the Capricorn here, by the way? What's more of the Eight of Swords? The Four of Cups in reverse. This is knowing when to choose yourself, you know, knowing when you need to do what's best for you. For some of you, you've had to walk away from someone and you've been in your head about being single. You may have been wondering if a relationship is the best thing for you, even. Let's see. Bottom of the deck is the Three of Wands in reverse. So, as this being the overall energy, this is like when you're frustrated here, or you're struggling because something's not unfolding in the way that you want it to, or you've been in that energy and you're coming out of it, okay? This is like, okay, that didn't go as planned, and you have the moon there. So you may have a lot of fears that something's not going to go as planned, or you're not going to see your ships ever come in with the situation, right? Like waiting for something that never happens. Yeah. You may be waiting for someone to take some sort of action here, and you may be a little bit worried that that person is... You're afraid that person's never going to make the changes that are necessary and won't be the person in the end that you're looking for. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. You have the Ten of Wands here, the Six of Cups in reverse. So there's a past energy here of regret, I feel like, for some of you. But something of your past that you're still having a hard time kind of letting go of, or seeing the fact that, and this could be your side or your person's side, or between the two of you, taking action towards that Ten of Cups. You have the Emperor, the Empress here, and the Six of Cups here. So the weight of something not working out could be something, this is a fear. Okay. You're afraid you're going to sit here and wait. Your greatest fear here is taking action and not being fulfilled, or someone not being who you thought you wanted. This is a fear that's coming from a past situation. FYI. This is something to do with your past that's you're projecting onto a new situation here, okay? Just for some of you. There's something here that you're still holding on to, and it has to do with being afraid of the same outcome in a situation. Wow. Let's get some more. Oh. Yes? I'm so sorry, guys. My son came in here again. Alright, so we're going to use the Kipper cards. I want to take just a look. I want to see if we can get some more information about this. Kind of narrow this down a little bit. Okay. Anything else you can tell me here? Yeah. Courtship. Yeah, this has to do with a relationship. Number 4. Four of Wands. This could be making a decision to commit to someone. A house. You could be, with the Four of Wands here, you could be making a decision to commit to moving in, living together. A house is here. Number 20, that's judgment. So that's a judgment call, making a judgment call here about, this could just be creating a sanctuary, a peace, or protecting something, you know. Anything else you can tell me for pile 3? Sudden wealth, number 11. 11 is that justice that we saw earlier. Libra energy. Bottom of the deck says adjudication. So definitely there's this idea of making a decision, perhaps to commit in a relationship. Maybe to commit to not repeating the same pattern. I mean, for some of you, this could be a renewal, but I think it's a renewal at a chance of a relationship again. So, fear is getting in the way of this, being afraid. This is like being afraid of loving or putting yourself out there or opening up. You have this justice that's here, this 777, sudden wealth. This is like you get the relationship, you get the house, you feel like you're secure. This is also about balance and karma. I think for some of you, you've been having a hard time accepting receiving something, like a relationship or something that you feel like is in your life that's an opportunity here. You've had a hard time accepting the opportunity because either of what you've experienced in your past or what you feel like you deserve. Actually, just kidding. Let's use these. Help me out here with this courtship, please. Okay, 2 cards came out with the courtship. Yeah, look at this. Ancient history and battle wounds. This is letting go and releasing something of your past here. Someone you have a past with and hurt in the past. This is something that we talked about when you get into relationships. Okay, so that's the pattern that you're trying to release. You don't want to carry this pattern with you of maybe someone that hurt you in the past, repeat the same kind of cycle that you did with someone else. Tell me about house. Well, look at this. Lady Venus, beauty, grace, romance, love, exploring your desires. Did I say that earlier? Maybe not. That 9 of Pentacles is what you desire. So yeah, you see this as something that, like, this is your desire, is to have this house, you know, have this security, have this renewal here, or opportunity. This is someone or something that you see as being that person that you feel so drawn to, right? Sudden wealth, unfoldment. Spiritual awakening, breaking free, blooming, connecting with your higher self. It's almost like you feel this calling that things are going to work themselves out, or things are going to, like, you're into, that's it right there, right? I think, guys, I think your intuition is on point when it comes to being like you're moving in the right direction. And I think that you're perfectly capable of it. I think that there is something abundant and secure even that's on the other side of that. And I feel like that it's almost like your struggle is internal. You're trying to break yourself free from getting what it is that you want. And the fears that comes with that. Because I think you're afraid of repeating a cycle of the past. I think you've also been very hurt in the past. And that's a continuous battle. And I think that that's something that you need to look at as is a continuous battle. You know, you're always healing, right? We're always healing from something, from what we've experienced here in life, whether you're with someone or not, or if that's something between the two of you. But we're always continuing to heal, right? Until it becomes the scar that where you once were hurt, you know, but you don't let it affect you. And that's a process. And I think things will unfold and you'll feel more harmonious about things the more you move forward, and accepting really that there are things that are going to be unseen and things that you're not going to know until you go through the experience. I think that's important here as well. I do feel like for some of you, someone or you are wanting to change the way that you do things, the way that you've been doing things, and there's an opportunity on the table to do that. It's just that fear of it not working out and repeating a cycle is what's the only thing that's really, I feel like, holding you back. You have on a pedestal. There is definitely, I feel like, someone here that you admire or that you idealize, or that you may be denying their flaws in some way. It's almost like your mind plays tricks with you about that. Like you're not ready or you're not good enough, you know, with feeling out of your league. It's almost like that's that Eight of Swords. You kind of, like I said earlier, you may not feel like you're emotionally ready, or you're emotionally prepared or in a position where you feel good about yourself enough to be able to proceed forward, you know. It's just an insecurity here that's holding you back. That's all. That's what that is. You're comparing yourself to a situation or someone as if that person is in some way, shape, or form perhaps better than you, and that's creating an insecurity within yourself, because they're not. They have been faced, people aren't better than each other. We've just been all faced with different situations, circumstances, and decisions that we've had to make. That's all. And I think that's something that you're coming into an understanding about. Look, you have the Return there in reverse. Like, this is your fear. You're afraid of repeating a cycle. Let's get some advice on that note. Especially if you feel like someone sees you in a particular way. You don't want, you know, it's not just your insecurities. It's funny when we put somebody on a pedestal like that, that other person, if you make them feel that way, it can also create insecurities with them, because they have to live up to that. And I mean, yeah, I don't know why I want to grab this for advice, but I'm gonna. It's calling me. What else? Let's use these. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to be on that pedestal, you know. If there's anything that happens, it could, if you're on a pedestal, it can make you feel like it's 10 times worse than if that happened with anyone else. You know what I mean? Because they put you on that high pedestal. It's like this. It's the best way I know how to explain it. If, you know, I admire my grandmother so much, and if anyone was to tell me something that may not even be that bad, that I just couldn't see my grandma doing or saying or whatever, you know, to anybody else it wouldn't be that bad, but because she's my grandma, you know, and it's because I put her on that pedestal, you know, it's that kind of feeling, if that helps explain that can create insecurities for both individuals. And that could be something that's been in that Eight of Swords that's kept you in your head. What? Okay. They knew when I was going to ask. Empowering question cards, by the way. We have, what kind of advice on life would I give to my younger self? So there you go. That's a good place to start with this. If you could go back to the beginning and you could see yourself and you could cause a significant change, what advice would you give that person, and how can you use that advice in your present and future now? Right? Okay. These cards are flying out. They're ready for me to use this. What is the most important thing for me in this moment? Yeah, right now, in this moment. Just what I got done saying here. What is, in this moment, with what you have, what you're dealing with, or where you are, what is most important thing for you at this time. And then these here. What should you be focused on? What it is that, what do you want, you know? Gosh, you have proposal here. So definitely a relationship opportunity. Number 27, a romantic or business opportunity is indebted. Indebted. Maybe. You deserve it. Indicated. So there you go. That's what's on the table here. We have Lion at the bottom of the deck, which is Leo energy. So number 16, which is actually the Tower. So whatever this is, this decision, this partnership, this opportunity, it's going to change a lot of things, right, with the Tower. It's going to, you know, this is like let go of whatever foundation that you thought you had created when it comes to relationships, because this is going to be something that's like totally different, and you're capable of that through understanding the lessons that you've learned up until this point, the advice that you would give yourself. Everything could be different in this relationship. It also says harness the loyal and protective aura of a lion and charge ahead. I'm not even going to attempt this. Magnificently. Oh, I said it easy. It's a miracle. Okay. All right, let's get into a postcard from Spirit, okay? And then we'll get some initials to close. Sorry about the interruptions. My kids are all home for the summer. Of course, they would be home regardless right now anyways, but okay. So let's see. With love, dearest you, we're gathering up our magic together to help you celebrate your new beginning. That's pretty cool. You're stepping into a new version of your life. Yeah. Getting to tell a new story as you create it. Doesn't it feel like spring when you urge to expand wells up inside of you from a primal place? There's that line, that primal place. The form of what you are growing has yet to take shape, and it is exciting to experience this new and fresh beginning. It's normal to feel both push and pull back when entering any kind of new relationship. That's awesome. It's so awesome. It's okay to admit that you don't really know what to expect. What you can know is that it's time to dive into and allow the new version of life to take shape through you on behalf of your partner in life, Spirit. You have made it to the next level of awakening and contributing, and we are so excited to see where this will take you next. We're so proud of you. Well, that is just plumb awesome. I'm going to leave y'all with that. I'm going to get some initials real quick. Love Josh's reading. I liked it. Okay. It's always interesting to go back and listen to. The first part of it was kind of a struggle making the story. So you have the crow, so seeing the higher perspective. You have the butterfly, which represents that change. And you have the frog, which is about taking a leap, which is the full card here. How awesome is that? And then you have the star here as well, which is even better, because that's about your desires, your wishes coming true. Healing, you know, healing a situation. You have a 7 here again, with that 777 that's there. So that's a number of things. You're in alignment here. Things are in alignment here. You also have 27 here as well. And you have the D, a G. You have dog in the bowl, so being loyal is something that's there. C, or protective, right? Q, C, O, A, I, L, and I. Okay, so I'm going to hold this up so y'all can see it, and I'm going to just leave you right here. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope this helps. If you don't mind hitting that like button if you like this reading, it sure does help me out. And I appreciate you guys so very much. Good luck with this, and I hope to see you soon. Okay, Paw 4. So y'all get to use the Paws Tarot, which is actually one of my favorite. and I haven't been using it as much because I used it too much. And so I was like, I gotta quit using that deck so much. And you're gonna get bored with it. But I love this deck. It's very shiny and pretty and bright. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get right into the tarot. So I'm taking a look to see what your intuition's trying to tell you. What is your intuition? If you could have a conversation, right? Like we do with your intuition, despite fears, despite anything else that gets in the way of you understanding your intuition, what would your intuition say to you at this time? That's interesting. That's not the way I asked it in the other piles, so that's particular here. What would your intuition say to you at this time? Okay. We got 3 cards that came out right off the bat. We have the Star in reverse, Aquarius energy. Page of Cups here in the reverse as well. And the Knight of Cups in the reverse. I don't know what makes sense of this, but I keep hearing in my head, no action is inaction. No action is inaction. I don't know what that means, but anyways, which, interesting, these are Page in the Knight, which is the Knight's the action, Page is the message, both in reverse. There's something about losing hope here with maybe someone taking action or you taking action, being in a hopeless place about this. And you have a 5 of Wands with the King of Cups in reverse. These are all reversed. Scorpio energy here, 5 of Wands. You're trying to make amends with how you feel. Like, okay, so this is like, I don't feel good about this, but I'm trying to make amends with how I feel, with my emotions, because I don't think that they're in a balanced place. So your intuition, these emotions are trying to tell you something, and I think they're most importantly trying to tell you the information you need, which is what action to take, or if this is a hopeless situation. How interesting. Okay, so why is the Star here? 3 of Wands. So you're hopeless here, hopelessly waiting. What are you hopelessly waiting on? That's what I've just popped in my head there. Oh, hopelessly waiting. Waiting for your ships to come in. You've been waiting for something to unfold, a desire that you have had, or waiting for something to heal. You know, you've been waiting for this to come towards you or happen. And maybe waiting for the opportunity, but you're starting to lose hope here in this. Why is the Page of Cups in the reverse? The Fool. Well, this is taking a leap of faith. And I see, this is what I was talking about being procrastination. I feel like it's more procrastination than it is just straight inaction. But some of you could be wrong. There's a having to take a leap of faith in a hopeless place. Oh, that song We Fell in Love in a Hopeless Place just started playing in my head. Having to take some sort of action here. Waiting to take action. Why is the Page of Cups in reverse? There's an insecurity here on your part. The 7 of Wands. You have to defend yourself in some way. The Chariot in reverse with not taking any action. Keep maybe telling yourself it's not the right opportunity, it's not the right time. You're trying to defend maybe something that you didn't do or follow through on or take action towards. Like it wasn't the right opportunity. It's almost like you're trying to tell yourself the reason. It's like you're trying to not blame yourself. My stomach's making weird noises, guys. Why is the Knight of Cups here in reverse? Cancer, Aries, Aquarius, Scorpio energy here. You have a Queen of Swords in the reverse. Something didn't go as you planned or expected it to. Y'all remember that this could also be someone around you. You may be getting a perspective of someone else's story, okay? Close to you, that you're needing to see. So take that in mind. Roles can always be switched. So this Queen of Swords, Libra energy, with that Knight of Cups in reverse, something didn't go the way that you anticipated or you wanted, I feel like. Maybe something wasn't as what it seemed. You may be creating some insecurities around this, by the way. You may be telling yourself things that aren't true about yourself. This is like cutting someone off or out. You may feel like someone cut you off or cut you out. That they are someone that doesn't care about you or love you. Like, I feel like this right here goes to a pretty dark place, guys. So really be careful what the things that you tell yourself, because that's going to create that reality. Whatever you feel, whatever you think is what we create, even if it's not necessarily true. And that's what insecurity does to us, you know. It makes us feel things that aren't true. That's something that's real heavy here. Definitely going to pull a card real quick for advice on that, because I can feel the intensity of that. Like, that it's a feeling that gets pretty intense at times. I don't know why I want to pull these, but nope, I'm going to do these. Can you give me a card for that real quick? Can you explain that, what I'm feeling? Can you give me card advice on that? What I'm feeling at that place. Where can I ask for more help in my life? Oh my God, that made me just want to cry. I don't know why. I've been feeling the emotions lately, but I just had my birthday, so that could be why. I don't know. And I am Cancer, so I feel this. There's some sadness here behind this card. Where can I ask for more help in my life? You may be afraid to ask for help, or you may be feeling like vulnerability is hard for you. Okay, real quick, I have to say this. If you get to a place where you feel like ashamed for asking for help, or ashamed that you feel a certain way, please, 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 please make sure that you're reaching out to family and friends, because that really can lead to a dark place. And if not anything else, I do have a hotline down below. Those people are actually trained at how to talk to you, how to help you, how to guide you. And so beneficial in feeling that kind of way. I don't know why I feel like I need to go through this, but that's somebody's message. Sometimes our family and our friends, and I had to learn this as well, sometimes they just don't know what to say, so they tend to say the wrong thing. And that could be, you know, that could be way less helpful. So keep that in mind. I'm going to read this now. Where can I ask for more help in my life? Until we receive with an open heart, we'll never really giving with an open heart. When we attach judgment to receiving help, we knowingly and unknowingly attach judgment to giving help. Well, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. If you don't ever deny yourself what you want to give most to others, which is help and support and guidance and love, don't ever deny yourself of that same amount. So when we attach judgment to receiving help, we knowingly and unknowingly attach judgment to giving it. Today, ask for someone's help and receive it with an open heart. I ask for what I want, and I am open to receiving it. So definitely that's something that somebody needed to hear. I'm going to leave that there now. We're going to go back into the reading. Okay, Five of Wands. What's the Five of Wands here for in reverse? You have the Hermit sideways. I think that you're wanting to, there's something to do with wanting to come out of the dark or wanting to make amends here with someone. Virgo energy. I think you're worried about this person. Why is the King of Cups in the reverse? The Three of Swords. I think that you're heartbroken here. And I think that you don't know what to do with those emotions that you feel. This Chariot in reverse, this is like a feeling of lots of different feelings. You know those feelings that feel like you feel like wild horses, like there's just your feelings are running away with themselves. And you, one minute you're angry, one minute you're sad, one minute you're okay, or whatever the case. The Chariot's like those horses are just ready to go, and if you just open that gate, they'll take off in whatever direction. And some of you feel this need to defend yourself or feel a need to fight for something. It's like whether or not you should fight for something. Or you did. Or didn't. You may tell yourself you're foolish. You're foolish for something. Tell me about the Queen of Swords, please, in reverse. The Magician. You're trying to bring truth out here, or conversation, or you want to try to understand if someone here still cares about you or not. Or you want to try to understand how someone else feels. Maybe if someone has cut you off or disconnected, or if they're being honest, even. Someone's being cold to you, something like that. It's like you're trying to manifest some sort of understanding of this. The Hermit in reverse with that Five of Wands in the reverse. Death. Yeah. That's Scorpio energy. You want to end the silence or the introspection or the conflict, right? You just want to end that confusion, conflict. Over an ending. I feel like it's over an ending. I feel like it's over how things ended or what happened. It's like you want to stop thinking about it, almost. Three of Swords, King of Cups in reverse. Ten of Wands. You're still carrying this burden of heartbreak, sadness. This is almost like taking responsibility for the pain or the grief or the sadness or the separation that you carry around here. Page of Swords in reverse. Maybe you weren't honest. You weren't being honest. Or you weren't being truthful, or that's the same thing, right? Expressive. Maybe you overthought it. Maybe you got distracted. Maybe there was some kind of gossip that took place here. Maybe you didn't live up to a promise, or you just weren't expressive in your words or honest. Keep repeating myself. It's a weight that you carry that hurts. It's a responsibility that you hold when it comes to how you affected someone or they affected you. Right? Take it how it resonates. Why is Death here? Yeah, the High Priestess. There's silence here. You and this person may, like, you don't know. I feel like this person's perspective of how they see the ending. And this is your intuition telling you that this is over, right? You feel like your intuition's saying that this is over. Why is the Magician here? The Ace of Cups. You want a new beginning. Or this person does. Or this could be a brand new relationship. You know, this person could be moving in a different direction. That's why it's so painful. You would be aware of this if that's the circumstance, because that's where that pain's coming from. If not, then this has to do with you wanting a renewal here of some sort. Still having love for this person or this situation. Or wanting to, you know, move on to something else. Trying to manifest something new for yourself. Why is this Chariot in the reverse with that Seven of Wands? The World in reverse. Yeah. You don't know if something's over or has ended. This door's been closed. I just heard that song. I'm going to leave the door open. Who sings that? In my head. Why is it Three of Wands here? The Ace of Swords. You've been waiting for communication here. You've been waiting for, maybe waiting for the right opportunity to express your truth, but you haven't gotten it. Or you're waiting to communicate or hear from someone. Waiting maybe to tell the truth. But you're losing hope that you'll get that opportunity. This person may have went in another direction here for some of you. With that Knight of Cups in reverse. And the Five of Pentacles. See, you're feeling Ace of Wands. Two of Cups in reverse. Wow. What happened? I feel it. Five of Cups in reverse with that Ace of Pentacles. Oh. You had an opportunity here. Some of you had an opportunity here at some point. You got a wish granted, right? And you had an opportunity here to make amends, to accept, to forgive, to move forward, whatever this is. Brand new beginning here. But you didn't act on it, or you didn't act right, or you were confused, or you weren't focused right. Maybe you were impulsive in something. And something didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to. I feel like, what are you trying to tell me with this? This Moon in reverse, Cancer energy, Scorpio energy here as well. This is like your intuition, and it's being impulsive and freeing yourself from some sort of fear or anxiety. But the Tower in reverse is confusing me. So this could be like putting something back together or trying to just avoid it altogether. This is like when you tell yourself, okay, this is what I'm saying. It's like when you tell yourself you miss someone or something, or you feel lost or lonely or whatever, you know, with the Five of Pentacles, and you want that new beginning, but you just feel disconnected here from someone, and you want to avoid a disaster with things coming out into the open, or breaking the silence even, or having to face a fear of some sort, you know, the worst case scenario. And being impulsive. Okay. That's interesting. You know what I want to get? I want to see what you would say. Let's do that. Let's see what, because some of you, I feel like the roles are switched. Okay, so let's just see. Because I do feel like you're also holding back a message, or holding back wanting to send a message, because I've seen 3 pages in reverse so far, 2 are on the table. And that Chariot as well on the table. It's like impulsively wanting to send a message where you don't want something to be over, or you want to fight for something. Pile 4. What would you say to this person if you could say anything? I'll look into them too, by the way. You did not break me. I'm in a committed relationship. Okay, so maybe this is what you would say to this person. These could be also switched, so keep that in mind. What would you say to this person? I miss seeing you. In chemistry. The attraction you feel is mutual. So there's still this attraction there between the two of you, and this is someone that you miss. I mean, you may be in a committed relationship. There is a relationship right there on the Ace of Cups on the table. So, okay, one more. You were the best thing in my life. Let's see what your person would say. This is somebody that's recognizing the value that you brought to them. By the way. So that's either how you feel or they feel. Let's see what the other person has to say. I don't know what you want. Leaving you hurt me too. I can't do this. You didn't imagine it. Oh, I just got goosebumps. I'm grateful for this spiritual lesson, and I lost myself for a little while. The bottom says, I replay our conversations over and over, and I want you so badly. I don't know what side of the equation you're on this, how I read this. I'm not sure. I could have went back and forth. I don't know. I have to like figure that out when I go into putting everything together and reviewing everything, because I feel like I was in one person and then I kind of switched. But you have 2 people here in this that I'm seeing that have love for each other, right? The attraction's still there. I do feel like there's distance between you and this person. There's still this missing energy here, and recognition of what the past was and what the present is. And I think somebody's still struggling with that in some capacity, right? Because I feel like somebody wasn't honest, or wasn't maybe had undelivered promises of some sort, or wasn't taking action or doing something in the way that they feel like they could have. With I can't do this right on top of that Page of Swords in reverse. I mean, it's a burden that somebody carries, right? And there is this acknowledgement of this lesson that was learned here, and I lost myself for a little while. This is somebody that had to go through some type of experience because of this, and learning a lesson here almost in how to self-soothe, you know, because of this heartbreaking pain. This is somebody that's gone through this experience alone, I feel. The pain that they have been feeling. And I think that they had to recover from it. I think that they went through a period of where they did lose themselves for a while until they could see the overall bigger picture, or the bigger perspective of everything, and make sense of it. And I think this person does want you. I think that they also replay a lot of conversations that the 2 of you had. I also feel like this is what this person misses. Conversation, right? Probably more than that. But conversation is definitely something that this person misses or thinks about a lot. I want to know what's going to happen because I'm nosy. So, what is going to happen? What do I need to get for that? Let's see. Let's do these. Pile 4. Pile 4. What do they need to know? What's going to happen here? Moving forward. Endings. I know endings are painful, but it's best that we move on for now. And waiting. Somebody could be waiting for an ending. Waiting for your return. Hasn't been easy, but I'm still hopeful. Fatal event is here. Remember, we're looking into future energies, okay? Well, that's important. And skepticism. You have sacrifice here at the bottom of the deck, which is this is the same kind of energy as learning the lesson. So it says there's a sacrifice that I need to make. I'm not sure if I'm ready. I feel like in the future here, there's going to be some sacrifices that need to be made. There's possibly going to be some sort of change or ending that takes place here. If you've been waiting for some kind of fatal event to occur, or like, let's just say there's a final closing of the relationship or of a situation. This is like, what do you call it? Divine intervention. Okay, that's the word I'm searching for. I'm going to get some more for this. I'm sorry for what I've done. There's not a lot I can say. Give me time to trust this connection. I want to know what this is about. Tell me more about this future ending. Self-indulgence. Focusing on self-worth. So you're going to go through, or this person, take it how it resonates, is going to go through some kind of closure. Closing, acceptance or surrender, right? Acceptance and surrender. And where they go through this shadow work, it's going to cause them to go through, anytime you go into the Three of Swords, there's going to be some shadow work there. And definitely when you're carrying the 10 of Wands on your back, because you feel the burden of something that you didn't do, didn't experience, didn't say, whatever it is. There's a lesson there, and that pain is where the lesson sits, you know. So working through that, grief is going to get this person to a place to where they can accept the lesson, they accept it, and they see and understand it when it comes to the ending or how things ended or why. Then you have this waiting here. There's some kind of hope that's going to come into play. The Phoenix. There's going to be some kind of rekindling, renewal, transformation, growth, change your mind, or new phase. For some of you, this could be a new phase with this person. For some of you, you will find yourselves going through, after this ending and healing, and some time going by, waiting, becoming hopeful again and experiencing something new, okay? Maybe you change your mind about this person in the future. Why is the fatal event here? Kisses. Unconditional loving, giving, receiving affection, and falling in love. So for some of you, you may end up falling in love here with someone new. For some of you, you're going to, some kind of fatal event could lead, which fatal, by the way, some sort of ending in a different situation could lead to the two of you showing like giving and receiving affection towards one another, or showing each other unconditional love in some kind of way, okay? Something like that just coming up. depending on who this person is to you with fatal event. What is skepticism here? What's skepticism about? Give me time to trust this connection with skepticism. Addiction. Okay. Not enough is at the bottom of the deck. Frustrated in a relationship, lack of confidence, self-sabotage, fear, ego issues, and jealousy. Future energies. This skepticism could lead to a blockage. Okay? Moving forward. You could have a new relationship or a rekindle of this, depending on where you are with whoever, where there's an opportunity to show unconditional love towards someone, right? Or towards a situation, or both of you. And there may be some skepticism around whether or not to trust this situation, which could lead to a blockage in self-sabotage, okay? Where ego issues become a problem, or frustration in the relationship, or feeling a lack of confidence. Something like that could become an issue. For others of you, this is a new relationship that you may be experiencing in the future after this ending here. And it's almost where you're implementing what you've learned from this experience into the new one. And it could be that if you haven't balanced out giving and receiving, like what to give and receive, and make sure that it's equal on both parts, if you haven't learned that lesson in that case, you could lead yourself towards a direction where that could be a blockage for you in a new relationship. And it could lead to being obsessive, it could lead to being possessive, it can lead to being controlling the situation so that you don't feel that same pain. And those frustrations may lead to a self-sabotage. So, unfortunately, I feel like you're walking out of this lesson into a new one. And that goes in the way that, it just depends up to you, like how this moves forward, how things change, and how you implement the lesson that you learned here towards the new experience. And deception is there. Sacrifice and deception. Let's get some advice on that note, okay? I hope that made sense. I feel like, I always kind of, when future energies come out like that, it makes me almost feel bad, because I'm thinking, I don't want to leave y'all with like something bad. It's not going to work out. This is more like what self-sabotaging energies can do to have a negative effect in your life, right? And a look into that and really focusing in and doing the work right here, doing the work on yourself to accept and surrender what was, or how something happened, or why something happened, or whatever this is. Accepting your part in it and accepting the lesson that was learned there so that you can change. And taking the proper time to do that, right? Okay. Anyway, I don't know why I felt like I had to sit there and just go through and explain all that stuff. Okay. But there you go. There it is again. Give me a card here, please, for advice. Thank you. Walking alone. Yeah, there's a lot of energy about a journey alone. Your healing journey is a journey in itself alone. You have to take how you feel, how you interact, who you are, with the lessons that you learned, and learn from those. Implement those. Use those in your life. And that's up to you. That's not up to anyone else. I can learn that touching the stove is going to burn my hand. But it's my choice whether I keep wanting to do that or not. You see what I'm saying? You have number 33, walk alone. You need to walk this journey alone. To consult with your own inner guidance. The answers lie within you alone. What else? Okay, I have 2 here. Love is in the air, number 62. And 57, power animal. So for some of you may have power animal. For some of you, it says connected with the pet or a spiritual animal on a deeper level so that it can nourish your soul and uplift your spirits. So get a companion. If you have to walk a journey alone here and you feel like nobody understands you, you feel like nobody knows what you're going through, that kind of thing, guys, animals. They're angels. They're especially dogs and cats. I mean, I would highly recommend. But anything, it's a relationship that you build, and animals are nurturing, especially dogs. They are very unconditionally loving. Cats, they're not super unconditional. I have to be honest, I have a lot. And they can like have their own state of mind, right, and what they want. But this connection that we have with animals is so important when we feel disconnected from everyone around us, because that is in itself such a great connection to have. Anyways, I kind of went on a rant about that. Maybe you should get an animal for some of you. I would recommend adopting an animal. I don't know, somehow or another, this could also be about your intuition and empowering yourself when it comes to your own intuition. Something to do with an animal is really important. Okay. Love is in the air. Number 62. Let falling in love teach you divine lessons. It's worth working on. But honest conversations will be the key to overcoming difficulties. For a lot of you, there's a big lesson here on being honest with yourself and being honest with others about how you feel. And having honest conversations, saying what you need to say, is important here. Yeah, part of the lesson here. I want to get a postcard from Spirit, and I'll get some initials too to close. 33, 62, and 57 are down here at the bottom. Okay. What advice does Pile 4 need? Came right out. With love. Dear you, sometimes you just feel like no one understands you. That is very, very strange. It's very, very strange. I mean, that is just amazing. You know, I love tarot, guys, so much because of the magic like that right there. I literally just went on a rant about this. Dear you, sometimes you just feel like no one understands you. You're not heard, or even that you don't count. This, my dear, is a terrible illusion. And although your feelings tell you that abandonment is real, this overall bottom of the deck energy here, 5 of Pentacles, is a card of abandonment. Okay? Well, we who love you know better. You are never alone. And even when rejection happens, you're ultimately being protected so that things can replace what wouldn't have worked out in the first place. Everyone on this side of the veil is watching over you and rooting for your ultimate success. Life loves you, we love you, and you are a unique spark of the divine, and always connected to the light and to the source. You are always in our care. Trust and keep the faith. Love you always and forever. Remember when I said someone's in the dark, and that card literally says you are a unique spark of divine and are always connected to the light and to the source. It doesn't matter how dark it gets, you always have the ability to close your eyes and see the light. You know, the source is always there to pull you back to the light. You just have to be able to acknowledge that that's there. It's like a candle being there in front of you, but you have your eyes closed the whole time and you're saying, I'm scared of the dark, I'm scared of the dark. I don't want to be here. But if you would open your eyes and look, that candle is sitting right in front of you and it shines light on some things. Just like when you're in a dark place, that's deepest, darkest spots that we go to are places that our deepest healing is done. Like our core trauma that we feel is when that gets kind of taken care of. And the reason it hurts so bad is because it's something that we ourselves desire to remove from our person, our everyday, what we experience, whatever traumas are attached to creating decisions and being in circumstances and making decisions or not being able to make decisions, or wherever you are with this, how our trauma is attached to that it's like we just filter every experience through that. That's why it's so difficult to go through the Three of Swords. But you get to the Four of Swords where you can at least look past the pain and the lesson that was there and reevaluate it and see it in a different way, since you're now on the outside and not in the darkness, right? Okay. Another rant. Another rant. I'm sorry. I guess maybe needs to be heard. There it is. I've been on some rants, let me tell you. It's because I've been gone for too long. That's what it is. Okay, so we have the, strawberry. Could be important for some of you, but I stirred strawberry wine in my head. It's a song. Strawberry wine's a song. His is here. Or his. And Dis is there as well. Strawberries kind of represent a sweetness, or savoring things, or focus on the sweetness to the experience that you had. That's how you have closure in situations. You don't think about, all the times that hurt you when you're going through surrender and acceptance. You think about all the times you got to experience the feeling of feeling joy and happiness and love, right? Because those are the ones that really count. We have H, J, E, the heart, black heart. Z, S, R, I, and D. Alright, guys. So I'm going to leave y'all here. I'm going to hold this up so y'all can see it. And thank you so much for being here. Hope this helps. Good luck to you with this. If you don't mind hitting that like button if you enjoyed this, I really appreciate that. Thanks again, and I hope to see you soon.